Hi everyone, thought I'd do a quick update on crypto and your altcoins, check out how they're going. Sorry I haven't had a video for a while, but I've been flat chat getting everything ready for this charity course and running that at the moment. So unfortunately that's been taking up majority of my time, but I did want to do a quick update because obviously we broke through that key level of the resistance zone here. So old resistance that was support here. Okay, and our market structure has still been higher highs, higher lows. So we still have bullish market structure at the moment on our time frames. The good thing to see is that you can see we have higher lows, equal low, equal high. Okay, so we were in an uptrend here. We went into a sideways trend here, and now we've broken up. Because remember, sideways trends mean that someone has to eventually win, either the bulls or the bears, and it seems like the bulls won this time. So now what it does is it runs up to the next point where the bears might step in, which you can see here, zone right here. Okay, so this zone here will become a resistance zone. The reason why this becomes a resistance zone now is because anyone that bought the dip there, thinking they were getting a bargain, and has been holding underwater this whole time, can now finally go, if it ever gets back to my buying price, I'm going to get out now, and then they exit. So that is why previous support becomes resistance like that. And that was a major kind of moment there where that was, the first buy of the dip. So there's a lot of supply there, a lot of liquidity where people that did buy the dip might be trying to exit. So it could be a zone where bears might step in. Okay, so we've hit here. If we can get through that zone, really, if we can get past that 38k, there's not really much more. Like there's a little bit here around the 41, 42k, and then up around that 48k zone will be your next target as well. So that's the weekly. Looking at the daily, you can see that we are starting to pivot here a little bit off this zone. We just delete that. Okay, and we are starting to diverge as well. So as you can see from this point here, we've been going up and we've been diverging a little bit as well. So we are starting to weaken the trend into our resistance zone yet as well. These are just signals, nothing to act on yet, but it just means that we have to be alert from this point. I'm hoping personally that this thing starts to just kind of trade sideways for a bit, because when Bitcoin trades sideways, altcoins perform quite well. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, I went gung-ho back in my altcoins again. So my original video that I posted about altcoins a few months ago, when I bought my original investment back, I'll show you where and why. Okay, so others dominance here, and where I bought my altcoins back was here. And that's because that was my zone where I had always said when I exited November 14th, and I knew we were going to a bear market, that is where I would buy back my first initial amount of alts. So it wasn't, it was June 2023. It wasn't the exact bottom of a lot of altcoins, but it's been near the bottom. And it was just a position that I promised myself that it would respect. It's respected this trend line since altcoins have really began. As you can see, I was right. It bounced off there, but it doesn't mean I got the bottom of altcoins. It just means that altcoins have started to bounce off from that zone. As you can see, now we have bullish market structure, but we've run into the next key zone right now. Okay, major resistance became support, back to resistance again now. So we need to crack this and get through. If we can do that, then we could have a very extended bull market on our altcoins. If we reject here, break below this pivot, then it could just be another return and then back. We still haven't broken the pivot yet to actually change market structure. Okay, so quite crucial. We've come up to this zone and we're coming back down here as well. So if we reject, it would need to hold this trend. If it breaks that trend, then we're heading back down. So I'm looking for two ways now. We either break through here and I can then add more to my long-term account, or we break through here and I look to add some more to my long-term account back down on this area. Because as you can see, this was a major resistance support zone down around this 5%. So either altcoins could potentially reject where we are now, or there's a chance that they keep pumping through. If we actually look at the others chart as well, you can see that that is also at a major resistance as well. Okay, old support became resistance. It is resistance right now. And as you can see, we're having a bit of indecision. So if we can stay above and push out, really you're getting quite a decent run, because what it's coming up to here, right? There's nothing but air in this zone. Okay, nothing but there's nothing stopping it. So if we can punch through, we have a beautiful, you know, that's others going from 160 up to 250, nearly double. And you can imagine what some of those altcoins will do during that time. So we're at a critical moment now where we're either going to reject, come back down, and we're just in our sideways accumulation zone. Okay, if we reject here, or we punch out and then we have a nice big alt run for us. So critical zone there as well. Then we have Bitcoin dominance, and this can kind of help you know if altcoins are starting to do well as well. And as you can see here, it's been in an uptrend right now. Okay, what we're looking for altcoins to do well are these bottom three here. Okay, don't want these ones decrease, fast, dump, or stable sideways. Don't want them. So we're looking at these bottom three here, in particular increase fast alt season. So what you're looking for is Bitcoin dominance decreasing, so this chart going down, and Bitcoin going up. That is when altcoins go really, really well. Next best one to do is increasing, which is where Bitcoin dominance decreases and Bitcoin stable. That's what I'm talking about now, where Bitcoin might trade sideways for a while and money will start to then flow into your altcoins. As you can see right now, we are starting to turn back down, which is why the last 3 weeks we've had an alt rally. If we can flip through this resistance, that should act as support. If it breaks through and through this zone here, then we've got an alt run, because we're breaking the trend, we're breaking through that previous resistance that should act as support, just like it has all these other times before. So resistance became support, support, resistance became support, resistance needs to become support, as well as the confluency of the trendline support. So if we can hold this zone and bounce off, that would be bad for altcoins. That means that Bitcoin dominance is increasing, which means we're looking at these, which, as you can see, nothing is good for altcoins there. If we fall through, then a good sign. So you can see why we're at these pivotal moments right now, where we're either about to get a massive rally or about to get a pretty much massive dump on altcoins. So party's either about to get started or it's over before it even started as well. So another thing to show you that we're at a critical zone now to know whether or not these altcoins are going to keep pumping. On top of that, this is USDC dominance. So your stable coins, it has reached the target that I identified once we broke this support. So USDC is at major support. So support, resistance, support is acting as support again right now. You can see that yellow circle was where my target was. And then as we're coming down, we are quite oversold. We're probably a bit due for a bit of a bounce as well. So just another thing to be careful of, if we do get a bit of a bounce on here, if this starts to increase, that means that money is flowing back into your stable coins, which means it's coming out of your crypto. So if this bounces off here, bad for crypto. If it breaks through that level, very good for crypto, very good for your alt run, and you're coming down to that next level, which is down here. Okay, so again, another key level, again, another reason why we are at a significant major level as well. Okay, I just want to end with, last time I was really bullish. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I went super bullish at the very end of December, early January for about, I'd say about 2 months. Okay, and that period was this period here where we broke through out of this wedge and we broke above this major resistance. I went really bullish on crypto here once we broke that point there. Okay, and then until it rallied up to this point here. Okay, I went bullish. As you can see, I've just taken an altcoin that I traded, because same thing, this was in the falling wedge. When it broke out the double bottom, I was able to get in there as well. Okay, so it went from 7 cents up to 22 cents. It, you know, nearly more than tripled in that time frame. What you can see is, though, that was Bitcoin's first run. So we had our move. Then you've had an ABC, and now we're having the next move. Okay, so the partner leg to this one. This was the leg that matched this. This now, as you can see, when we broke that high there, right here, is when this also broke out here. So the move has only just begun on this breakout. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if we get a partner leg that we should still get at least a minimum of that again coming up, doing its move. So even the bearish case, if this is some form of ABC, you should still get a bigger move up to here, is what I'm saying. Unless Bitcoin literally rolls over here and that's the top. The only way that that becomes the top is if we break, first of all, it has to break below that level. Because you've got to remember, that is the level 30K where pretty much everyone turned bullish. Most bears went, oh, this could be the beginning of the bull market, and everything flipped. So if we were to not hold that as support, because what we have done every time is flipped every time. So I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see here, old resistance became support. Then we had old resistance became support, which means that now we need old resistance to become support. That is how markets work. It shows you, one, when it breaks through, sellers were exhausted, and then they became buyers. Sellers exhausted here, we need them to become buyers. So that 31 needs to flip and become buyers. If it was to break through there, that would be quite bearish. It wouldn't be catastrophic, but it would definitely be bearish. If it ever broke below that low there, it's extremely bearish. So it has to hold that level there. It has room to pivot down, because as you can see, even right now, higher, 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 higher. And anywhere where this pivots, whether it's here, 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 it's going to be higher. So that's all good. Here, higher, 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 equal. It needs to be higher than there to continue the bull trend. So it can come in and pivot there, and it would still be higher and still be bullish. Okay, but I'd want to see it kind of come in and get out pretty quickly to show. And it's not until it breaks back above there that it continues to trend, because then it brings in the next high. And this is how it works. You just want to see the highs constantly getting higher and the lows constantly getting higher as well. If it's doing that, you're in a bullish trend. Okay, I'll show you the exact thing over here on the market. So you can see higher, that one's higher, that one's higher, that one's higher, 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 higher. Higher, 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 higher. The high is higher, the low is higher. That high is higher than that high. That low is higher. We're still in an uptrend. Higher, 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 higher. All of a sudden, lower. This is your one where something changed. All of these went higher every time. This one didn't. That was your first point. This is your next one where something changed. All of these went higher. This one didn't. Why? You've got a lower low, a lower high, and then the minute it broke, that's your exit point. Okay, so that is what we're looking for. The same kind of thing over here is, if that happens, if we stop making higher highs and we stop making higher lows, the trend has changed and we get out. Because this very easily could just be, which is what I believe it is, and still believe it is a corrective move. Right? Could still be some form of correction that's coming up to this zone before coming down. Okay, so just got to be careful that that we don't change market. But at the end of the day, do not fight market structure. I personally still believe we're going to see new lows. Okay. But I'm long as shit right now because at the end of the day, market structure is bullish. So while market structure is bullish, you ride the trend. If we were to change market structure, if we were to come down, come down here, bounce up that 30 and create a higher low and then go through that 30K, you can go bearish because then you've got a lower low, lower high, lower low, and you've changed your market structure because now you're going down instead of up. Okay, so just follow the market structure. Don't try and pick a top or bottom. You just need to make a good chunk out of the middle and keep riding it until it tells you otherwise. Hope that helped, guys. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll try and get another one out as soon as possible again. Take care, everyone.